Okay, so it looks like I am live. And today is the new moon in Cancer, the new moon in Ashlesha. Let me get my little notes right here and let's talk. So, happy new moon, everybody. Today is going to be amazing, and I'm going to share what this new moon has in store for us. Then after I do that, I'll do live new moon readings for you in the chat. And how this will work is if you want a reading, if you would like a reading, you can send a donation of at least $5 to my Cash App in the description box below. And my Cash App is Chantilly Coaching. That's CHANTILLYCOACHING, and it is also in the description box, like I mentioned. But readings are at least $5, and if it's on your heart to give more, then go ahead and give more. I have no problem with that. So the questions I will be asking today, the questions I'll be asking the cards are: one, what goals or intentions are best for us to set during the new moon in Ashlesha, which is today? And what could possibly keep us from manifesting this goal? And the last question is: what is the best way to manifest these goals and intentions? Okay, so those are the questions I will be asking in the reading if you are interested in the readings. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and I just want to talk about 5 things that I feel like we will all be experiencing during this new moon in Cancer, new moon in Ashlesha. Okay. So, number one is we might be asking ourselves, what are we really devoted to? What are we really devoted to? Now, devotion is coming up because Venus represents devotion, but so does the moon in some ways. The moon is the mother. The mother is devoted to her family. The mother is devoted to her home. Venus is devoted, could be devoted to material things. On a higher level, people who have Venus strong and they're really devoted to spirituality, they could be like nuns or things like that. So they have like it's a connection with devotion and just seeing what are you really devoted to. And I'll talk about this a little later, but when we have the new moon in Ashlesha, and one of the things that come up with Ashlesha is defective sight. Okay, defective sight, something you're not seeing clearly. And the planet that rules Ashlesha is the planet Mercury, and Mercury is in Purva Falguni. And this is also a connection with sight that is not quite clear. So there might be a disconnect between what we think we're devoted to and what we actually are devoted to. Let me see if I can use an example. Um, how can I use an example? An example would be um you feel like you are devoted to your business. You feel like you're devoted to your children, but you let things get in the way, like your health. And health is a big thing during this in Ashlesha. Health and healing is very important. Um, You might let your health get in the way. And it's not like something that you can't control. It could be things that are under your control. But you know, if you eat certain things, it'll raise your blood pressure and you won't be able to be as active as you would like to be with your kids or your family. What are you really devoted to? Are you devoted to those foods or those ways of living that are not helpful to spending more time with them? Or are you actually devoted to them? Okay, that's just an example. So, what are we really devoted to? Now, the health and healing side, Ashlesha is represented by the snake. Okay, that is the animal that represents this nakshatra. And if you look at a lot of pharmaceuticals or pharmaceutical companies, they have the snake. The I think it's what a I'm about to say the wrong thing, but you know what I'm talking about with the two snakes going up the staff. Okay, that is a strong connection to, oh, you know what? That is a strong connection to health and healing here, because I keep wanting to get ahead of myself, so I'm just gonna stay there. What are you actually devoted to? Okay, and then number two, how can I turn the venom into medicine? This is where I was trying to skip ahead, but I'm glad I put this next. Number two, things that we might be thinking about during this new moon in Ashlesha is, how can I turn the venom into medicine? So, as I said, this for this new moon, the nakshatra that it's in is in Ashlesha, which is represented by the snake. The snakes are represent pain and sickness that comes from venomous snake bites, but it also represents healing, because scientifically people were able to take the venom and create ways to heal from it, because it's so strong and it's so powerful. So if some of the things that Ashlesha also represents is secrecy, and you know, sometimes it can represent sneaky people, things happening around you that you can't really see. You don't really know that it's happening because it's a sneaky snake around. Okay, so some of us might experience during this 30-day, 28-day cycle, this new moon cycle, we could experience some type of pain from the venom of someone who was sneaky, or a situation that kind of snuck up on us. How can we turn that venom into medicine? How can we turn that venom into medicine? Kind of meditating on that and reflecting on that can help you not suffer from the situation, but actually triumph from it. Okay? Let me get a little sip. Okay. One of the third things we might be able to one of the things we might be thinking about during this new moon phase is, how can I no, am I able to clearly or realistically see what I am holding on to or clinging on to? We're talking about the snake. Or what could I be tangled up in? What is entangling me? Am I able to clearly and realistically be able to see that right now? And as I said before, we have this new moon and retrograde Venus in Ashlesha, and it represents defective sight. Okay? So you might not be able to clearly see what you're clinging on to that could be hurting you. Something I wanted to bring up is that Ashlesha also represents insecurities. Insecurities. So we could be experiencing an energy that is wanting us to cling to things that are not good for us, cling to things and hold on to things like a snake that wraps around something and doesn't want to let it go, even though it is hurting us and it is not good for us. We have to be able to clearly see what we are clinging to and holding on to that is not good for us. And some of us might need help. Some of us might need to talk to a professional or someone who's outside of you who can say, this situation or this person or this way of thinking is holding you back and it's been holding you back. And it just might be very hard for you to see right now. That's okay. What are you tangled up in? And I'll get into this deeper in some of the next points, but what are you tangled up in? The water signs are very much spiritual. So there could be some things that you're tangled up in that you can't see because what you're tangled up in is not physical, it's spiritual. Even if some of it is manifesting in the physical, it's spiritual. Okay? And whatever you're tangled up in, whatever you're clinging to, that it might not be a physical thing, it's a spiritual thing, whatever that is, this is a very transformative time for you to do what you need to do to clearly see it so you can move forward from it, so you can get away from it. We have an extra month just so we can clearly see what's holding us back so we can move forward. I say we have an extra month because this new moon is in Cancer, but if you've been keeping track of the new moons, the last new moon was in Cancer. It was in Punarvasu. This new moon is in Ashlesha, still in Cancer. So we have another chance. We have another try to see after the storms of the new moon 2 new moons ago, and the new moon in Ardra with the storms. We went through the storms 2 new moons ago, 2 months ago. Last month, we started to see the light after the storm. And hopefully we were able to reflect on that. Now, we need to be able to clearly see what happened. What was all that about? What am I clinging on to that could have manifested that, knowingly or unknowingly? This is the time to get real, get honest with ourselves. Okay? Okay. Number 4, am I clearly seeing what my children need from me? Am I clearly seeing what my creations need from me? Okay? So the new moon is in the nakshatra Ashlesha, which is in the zodiac sign Cancer. And Cancer represents family. The moon is there. The moon represents mother. But the sun is also there. The sun represents creative self-expression. The sun rules Leo, where Mercury is. And Mercury is the planet that rules the nakshatra where the new moon and retrograde Venus are. Leo represents creative self-expression. Leo represents children. Mercury is also with Mars. So there could be some communication that we need to take action on when it comes to our children and what we could be creating. We could be creating a business. We could be creating art. We could be creating music. When it's time to take action, it's time to be able to. I feel like there is information that we are resisting when it comes to this new moon. Like it's information that we are willingly trying not to see that could really help us move forward. Because it's the pain, it's the venom. It could hurt too much to acknowledge. The pain that our children are in, or how much they need us, or how much we haven't been there for them like we might have wanted to. But how, again, how can we turn the venom into medicine? We have to be realistic and rooted and grounded in reality. Kind of be the observer to get away from, not to get away from the pain, but so the pain doesn't affect your decision making so much. What needs to affect your decision making right now is not emotions. It's not emotions. It's being clear and being realistic and being responsible. And we have to be able to say, yes, I feel this pain. I feel this venom. I feel the pain of me not doing what I felt like I should have done with my children, or what I feel like it's my duty to create right now. I should have dedicated more time to getting up in the morning and focusing on that. I should, well, I don't want to say should, but you know what I'm saying. Looking back and retrospectively, because this is what we're doing now, because we have Venus retrograde and we have Saturn retrograde. And we have Mercury about to go retrograde, and we have Jupiter about to go retrograde. So there is a lot of reflecting. We want to make sure that we're not beating ourselves up, that we are not allowing ourselves to get down into the dumps of guilt and shame, because that leads to depression. We don't want to go there. What we want to do is stay in reality, stay grounded, stay focused on the truth. That is what's going to help us to get through this. No matter how much pain we feel, don't focus on the emotions, focus on reality. What's going to get you from the pain to the medicine? When it comes to what your children need from you, what your home needs from you, what your creativity and creations need from you. We're not dealing in guilt. We're not dealing in shame. We're not dealing in regret. We're not doing any of that. We're moving forward into the medicine, solutions, realistic solutions, okay? And the fifth thing is what needs to transform in my family, my home, myself. Now, this transform is two reasons that I'm talking about transforming. One is because when planets go from a water sign to a fire sign, there's a lot of transformation that takes place. There's a lot of transformation that takes place. They call that Grandata, okay, in Vedic astrology. Because you have to think of it, you're going from water to fire. There's a lot of planets in Cancer right now. They're going to be going to Leo. Cancer is water, Leo is fire. So it's a lot of transformation that's happening that way. But also, the new moon is square Uranus in Aries. Uranus represents radical change, radical transformations, ideas and situations that are like a lightning striking. Suddenly, something sudden, something electric, something powerful that creates change. Okay, so we have those two energies creating change for us. The change from Cancer to Leo, the Grandata change, and then we also have the new moon squaring Uranus. So there's the drastic, radical, dramatic changes right there. Uranus has been known to cause revolutions and evolutions. And Cancer represents the home, the family, the emotions, the security. In Ashlesha, the insecurities. But retrograde Venus loves security. Venus loves feeling secure. That's why it loves being in Taurus so much. The security. Okay? So it's gonna be us thinking about transformation to make us feel more secure. We're not going to find the answer outside of us. It's going to be within. Period. Okay. So was that the last thing? If that was the last thing, and I don't see anyone in the chat, so I'll just do a general type reading real quick, and we'll get even deeper into what this new moon in Ashlesha means for us. And I'll ask the questions that I asked the questions that I said we were going to ask, and that is, what is the main goal that we need to set for the new moon in Ashlesha? The main goal, the main intentions that we need to set. Okay, my office is in my trailer, and I'm sitting on this like trailer couch, and it's making so much noise. I know you could probably hear it. Yeah, so the main question is that we're going to ask, this is general for all of us, just a little general reading, what are the main goals and intentions we need to set during this new moon in Ashlesha? What could possibly keep us from setting those goals during this new moon and intentions during this new moon in Ashlesha? And what is the best way to manifest these goals and intentions during this new moon? Well, I thought I dropped something. Drop it. All right. Okay, the sun, Sanat Kamari, light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. Your internal guidance is coming out loud and clear. Shine your light. Some of us do really need to take action on creating, on expressing, being a little bit more expressive, coming on social media more, being more socially active. But mainly I feel like it's exploring our creative self-expression, allowing ourselves to shine, because yeah, the insecurities I was talking about, they could be keeping you from shining your light in the way that you might need to, taking action on shining your light in the way that you might need to, because excuse me, of the insecurities that Ashlesha represents. What can keep us from reaching our goals that we set? Mary Magdalene, Teacher Awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. All right? So what could keep you from that? It's not taking action. This Mary Magdalene represents Mars to me. All that red is not taking action. Knowing you might have something to share. You have something to share, but being afraid to shine your light. Fear. Not taking action, not communicating, not expressing. What is the best way to manifest our goals? Prayer. I'm trying to read upside down. Prayer and contemplation. Connect with heaven and ask and you shall receive. To me, this represents Venus retrograde right now. Charity. Venus retrograde. Retrograde planets are very strong. Okay. So I'm going to dig a little deeper with the Akashic Tarot. I want to clarify. Clarify. Oh my gosh, this is so loud. I'm sitting in a different place. I never sit here. I had no idea this seat was so loud right here. Loud. Okay. Also, I've been sick, so that's why I sound like I've been smoking since I was 2. All right. So let's do some clarifying on the goal that we need to set. Let's put some energy on here. This is a general reading for us all, for the collective. Please clarify, Sanat Kumara. Light activation. What exactly do we need to know about the goals and intentions that we need to set during this new moon in Ashlesha cycle, during this month, for the next 28 to 30 days? What goals and intentions do we need to set? Please help us clarify. All right. Here we have the King of Scrolls. Air, clarity, more clarity. We need to be clear. This is what I feel. Okay. We need to be clear about our insecurities. We need to be clear about our insecurities because they're keeping us from events. They're keeping us from situations that will help us accumulate authority and power. The air represents the mind. So this is making me also look again to Mercury. Mercury in Leo with Mars. He's right here. Like you can see him right here. He's looking at all this. Okay, now this is just intuitively. I know the meanings of the King of Swords. This would be the King of Swords in the original tarot. But I feel like intuitively, this is saying like you're right here and you can get to over here if you had the confidence and the clear vision like he has to get over there. Okay? Sidebar, your role as a mother is not... Your role as a mother is powerful. Don't let society or any energies around you try to tell you that it's not. I know I have no problem with people with conservative thinking or conservative ways of doing things. But even in that, your role as the woman of the house, your role of the mother is still powerful. Now, another thing that Uranus represents is independence. and individuality. And sometimes, if you're in a two-parent household, if you're a mother and you're in the household with the father, you can feel like you can't really take control or take charge of anything because he has the final say. He has last say. He makes the rules. You're supposed to just follow them. That way of thinking can cause your mind to not be as sharp as it needs to be. Your mind is a muscle. Your mind is a muscle. Okay? So, even in your role, whether you feel like it's diminished or sub or whatever, keep your mind sharp. Keep your mind sharp. You still have a voice in this family and in this relationship. You have a voice for what goes with your with your children. You as a mother might need to let your light shine more. Some things that we can see as mothers that the fathers cannot see. It's some things that fathers can see as the fathers that the mothers can't see. That's why you need both. You're not doing yourself or your kids or your husband any favors by not letting your light shine as the mother. Some of that happened about 2 months ago. You might have seen it coming. But because you gave so much power and control to the masculine energy, you just let them handle it. There could have been a storm that you encountered in your family, in your home. Now that the storm is over, now that the light has come, now it's time to clearly see, clearly think, clearly become the king, the authority in your role. You don't have to get out of your role as a wife, if you're thinking traditionally, to gain more authority as the mother. You are needed. Okay? You are needed. And this is important for you to understand. Also, get a little clearer for some other people. Get a little clearer, like I was saying before, on what you're creating. Because this might not be your kids. This could be your creation, like I talked about before. Your book, your music, your art, your business. Getting clearer will help you get to this other side. Okay? I'm going to use another deck to dig a little deeper into what we need to manifest, the goals we need to set for this new moon, because that's what we do during the new moon. Please clarify light activation and the King of Scrolls. This is what we do during the new moon. We plant seeds. We have faith. We face the unknown. Please clarify light activation and the King of Scrolls. Oh, I'm going to have to turn the air on. Mm-mm. All right. Oh, Freya, bold. Freya also is represented by Mercury. So Mercury is coming out very strong because Mercury rules the nakshatra Ashlesha that the new moon and Venus are in. Okay. Unleash your adventurous side. Take risks and be daring. It's definitely fear. Fear it could really have a grip on us. But see these wings? Wings most of the time represent Mercury. These wings right here on Freya. Be bold, be adventurous. Be bold though. Mostly. Be bold. Let your light shine. So I'm going to start. Goals and intentions that we need to set for this new moon in Ashlesha are goals and intentions that can help us shine our light more. We might need to, what I've been learning more about and being more focused on, especially since I've been learning more about Reiki and taking my Reiki classes, it's important to remove and cut cords that can keep you from doing anything. So remove cords that could keep you from letting your light shine, that are keeping you from being clear and realistic about what's keeping you from letting your light shine. And be bold. It's okay if this is something that you've never done before. This is what needs to be done. So set goals for boldness and letting your light shine, and set goals for clarity. Mental clarity is so important. Okay? So now we're going to go into what could keep us. What can keep us from manifesting this goal? Manifesting this goal. Where'd my cards go? I have defective sight all the time. Oh, so my ascendant is in Ashlesha in my D10, if you know about Vedic astrology and divisional charts. This is not the deck I wanted. Okay, this is. All right, now let's clarify what can keep us from reaching our goals. What can keep us from reaching our goals and manifesting our intentions for this new moon cycle? Please clarify, Mary Magdalene. not picking those up. All right. So here we have Four of Forces, Four of Wands. So much Mars energy. Martian energy. Four of Wands, Four of Forces. I feel like this is, I didn't even expect, like when I got on here, I don't want to forget what I was about to say. But when I got on here, I expect to talk about really creative self-expression a lot more. But when this card came out, I just knew like a lot of the focus was on, it's going to be on being a mother and understanding how powerful that is. Whether you are a single mother or whether you're married and a mother. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the moon, which represents the mother, being in the sign that it rules, Cancer, which represents the mother and family. Excuse me while I turn on this air. While I turn on this air. But I feel like a lot of us just need to be encouraged. I didn't even expect to go this way. I'm sorry, I know you can probably hear that. Like I said, my office is in a trailer in the backyard. So I'm going to pick up these cards. And let's go deeper into this, why I said what I said. Okay? This card usually represents, to me, the story of Oshun and Ogun. I know a lot of people know the story of Ogun and Oya, but now I'm talking about Orishas, okay? So, when Ogun is the father of invention, he created a lot of their world and where they lived because he was a builder. He created things, he built things, he was strong and worked hard and created industry. But the people got to a point where they didn't respect Ogun and his works and what he did. And he didn't feel appreciated. He didn't feel appreciated. This is very important. He did not feel appreciated. And we know as mothers how we can feel like, I'm doing all this for my husband, I'm doing all this for my kids. They don't see what I'm sacrificing. I'm sacrificing sleep. I'm sacrificing not putting my makeup on like I want to, not doing my hair like I want to, not looking like I want to. I'm sacrificing so much for them. I'm doing so much. And I feel unappreciated. But Oshun went to Oshun, which is Venus, and which is important right now because there's a lot of connection with Venus and Mars and Mercury right now. This is important because they're connected in the sky right now in different ways. And they're connected in this story. Oshun went to go get Ogun and let him know how he was appreciated. So I feel like value. This has a lot to do with value. What can keep us from manifesting our goals is not seeing how valuable we are. It's not seeing how valuable we are in the home and with our children. Not seeing how valuable the what we create can be. Our skills, Mercury, which rules Ashlesha, where the new moon is, and which is the main focus of this reading. Mercury represents skills. So we have to value our skills as a mother, and our skills as creators. I did not expect this right now, I promise you. Okay? I'm going to clarify one more time to see what can keep us from manifesting our goals. Please clarify the Four of Wands and Mary Magdalene. This is general for the collective. I'm telling you, and I'm also reminding my spiritual team, my ancestors, guides, angels. Alright, here we have sacred space. Create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. Can you see that? Okay. So you need a place to recharge. So, because sometimes we can feel unappreciated, and it's not because our husband or our kids are doing anything. It's just because of our decision to put them before us. So there's the realistic and responsibility part. We have to make time for ourselves, and not doing that can cause us to feel unappreciated. So make time for yourself. Do something daily that can help you recharge. Understand you are important, you're worthy of the time to make for yourself. You're worthy of expressing and communicating what you have to say. You're worthy of creating what you want to create. But you have to create more time to create. You have to create more time to recharge as a mother. Not doing that, not doing those things will keep you from allowing your light to shine, from being clear, and from being bold and courageous. So those are the things. Not making time for yourself to recharge because you know you're worthy of that will cause you to not manifest your goals for this month, for this new moon cycle. Not saying what you need to say. this feels like depression to me, some type of light or some type of depression. And because you're doing all this, I'm doing that, and nobody appreciates me. Make time for yourself, okay? Those are the things that will keep you from manifesting your goals. Now we're going to dig even deeper. Well, I just think about the Pocahontas, which was one of my favorite Disney soundtracks. I believe my aunt that passed away recently, my Aunt Lydia, gave me, oh, which leads me, I didn't talk about this. Okay. Whew, that came on strong. My Aunt Lydia passed recently, and she gave me a tape. This is how long ago it was. A tape of the Pocahontas soundtrack, because that was one of my favorite movies, and not because of the historical content, which was way off, but just because I have always been drawn to spiritual things ever since I was younger. My Aunt Lydia, I think she picked up on that. I was always drawn to, like, okay, I wanted to live on an Indian reservation. I always knew I wanted to do something monk-like live on an Indian reservation and just be with them, or like be a monk, a literal monk. So a lot of things about Pocahontas really spoke to my little 12-year-old, 13-year-old self, and she knew how much I liked it, and she gave me the soundtrack. And right now, when I was just talking about what could keep you from manifesting your goals, I was thinking about that song, that dig, 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 diggity, dig on Pocahontas. and that is what a lot of this energy, especially when we're going from water, which causes us to elevate spiritually. But we have to do that by this. This is going to cause us. Cancer is all about our comfort zone, but Ashlesha is the last nakshatra in Cancer, and so it's getting out of our comfort zone. And what's going to help us to get out of our comfort zones is to dig. I went the long way around that. Is to dig deep, okay? And another reason why I thought that it was important, why I felt so strongly about thinking about my Aunt Lydia, who did pass away, is she's an ancestor. And this whole, ever since last month, I've been digging deeper into ancestry, not physically with DNA, but spiritually, and because the fourth house, Cancer represents your not just your home, but your homeland. Okay, she was an aunt by marriage, but I always felt like she could really see me, and I feel a strong connection now, and it's making me want to connect with her. And she was a woman, which is the moon, who's part of my homeland, part of my home. We lived together for a short period of time. So she is part of my home and my homeland. And I just thought about that. Um, but yeah, there was another song, and this has it still has a lot to do with the new moon in Ashlesha, and because it talks about the heart. Now, physically, if you're talking about medical astrology, the Cancer represents the heart, and so does Leo. And like I said, we have retrograde Venus in Cancer, we have the moon in Cancer, we have the sun in Cancer, which represents the heart, and then in Mercury we have in Leo, which also represents the heart, we have Mercury and we have Mars. And the song is from Pocahontas that brings us all together. And it might help with the lack of clarity, mental clarity that we might be experiencing. And that might be because we need to drop into the heart, some of us. But it's Quake, quake, natura, you will understand. Listen with your heart, you will understand. Let it wash upon you like a wave upon the sand. Quake, quake, natura, you will understand. I love that so much. I hope I don't get copyright stricken with that. But I love that song so much. And it just tells you to listen to your heart and you'll know. You know, because sometimes we can be too much in our heads. Okay? Now, let me clarify. This last thing is, and it's Venus. And the prayer and contemplation, connect with heaven and ask and you shall receive. Let's clarify that. Let's clarify. Okay. Please clarify retrograde Venus, ask and you shall receive. What do we need to do to manifest our goals? What's the best ways for us to manifest our goals and intentions for this new moon in Cancer, new moon in Ashlesha cycle for the next 30 days? All right. Seven of Roses. Seven of Roses, the journey. Okay. Now this is important. Why? This is important because the planet Jupiter is not in Cancer, but it is the planet that is exalted in Cancer, which means that it loves being in Cancer and is considered to work the best when it's in Cancer. But Jupiter is in Aries right now. So I feel like this is saying, okay, look at Jupiter. Again, I know what the seven of Roses, this would be the seven of cups in the traditional tarot. I know what it means, but I'm going intuitively and astrologically, and I feel like this is saying do things in a new way. Manifest in a new way. Ask for what you want, even if it's a new thing. Even if being more focused on your value is a new thing when it comes to your creations. Like I said, whether it's a movie, whether it's a video, whether it's a business, whether it's music or art. What you might want to manifest might be something new for you and for people around you. But that's okay. Ask for what you want. What you want, if you're realistic about it, could be different than from what you're usually trying to manifest. All right, let me clarify one more time, and then that's it. Please clarify for the seven of Roses. But again, this does speak to the lack of clarity that I was talking about, because seven of cups, seven of roses is, it, traditionally it's like having a lot of options, having a lot of things you could choose from, but not knowing what to, it has a lot to do with choices. You don't know what to choose because there's so many opportunities, so many things to choose from. So please clarify charity and seven of roses. right? Focused intention. Diana, this is Mars. This is Wonder Woman. Okay? This is who Wonder Woman is based off of. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. So stay focused. So here we have, so here we have stay focused, and then we also have, you have a lot of opportunities. So being very clear on what you want will help you manifest your goals. Don't think about how it might affect other people. Only think about what you're worth. Okay? Do I have anything else to say? Let's recap. Quick recap. Okay? What goals and intentions do we need to manifest? Goals and intentions that'll help us let our light shine. That'll help us. We really need clarity so much. Goals for clarity and boldness and creativity. Intentions with our children. Okay? That's what we need to set right now. What'll keep us from manifesting these goals? Not valuing ourselves enough to create. Time for us to create and to recharge our batteries. Not valuing our voices and what we have to share and the wisdom that we have to share. That's going to keep us from manifesting our goals for this new moon cycle. What will help us? Only asking for what we want. And we know what we want because of reflection. With reflection, with Venus being retrograde, we know what we've gotten, so we know what we want and what we don't want. Ask for what you want. Even though you might have a lot of opportunities, stay focused. Stay focused on what you want. Stay focused. Mental clarity is so important, okay? That is the new moon reading. That's what I have for you, and I hope this was helpful. If you are interested in a reading for yourself for this full moon, or maybe you want a weekly or a bi-weekly or a monthly reading, let me know. I have my Cash App is in the description box. And also I have a variety of readings that I do on Fiverr that are also in the description box. You can click on those readings and see what might be most helpful for you. And you can also send me a message on Fiverr to let me know what you're experiencing, any specific questions that you have, and I will make sure to answer them the best of my ability for you, okay? You can also check out my reviews while you're there. So that is this new moon in Cancer, new moon in Ashlesha reading. I will talk to you for the first quarter moon. All right? Enjoy yourself.